In the realm of early morning delights, we gather around, eager with cheer to start a brand new day free of all fear.
As a fairy tale start to your Thursday morning, you guys should always embrace.
Yeah.
Now, this promises to be one fantastic new morning to you guys with untold stories of this and that and dragons and princesses. Welcome to the very merry Wake Up Nigeria edition for a Thursday. It's going to be a transformative show this morning. You guys are absolutely welcome.
Thank you so much for joining us in this Thursday edition, right? As you know, Thursdays we love to go artsy, so make sure you sit back, relax, because this show is tailored just for you.
Absolutely. I haven't seen you since last week, by the way, I must mention. This is the first time this week, and it's almost the end of the week.
Yeah, it's almost the end.
How was your first half of 2023?
It was beautiful. It was productive. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. Fuel did not touch her, that's why. It's okay, no problem. But that's good. It means that you're still very, very positive about the rest of the year.
I totally am. In fact, I was even more pumped than that first half of the year.
Right? I know. I think I only just woke up at the end of July, or rather at the end of June, so now I'm ready to go. It's all good. I'm hoping you guys feel the same way, and I'm hoping that that's the vibe that we bring to you every single morning when we wake you guys up here for the start of every single day. My name is Mazino Appeal.
And my name is Winfrey Agbelishe. Now remember, you can catch us right on Wake Up Nigeria across all social media platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, blah, 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 blah.
All of them.
All of them. And of course, the hashtag is Wake Up Nigeria.
On TVC.
On TVC.
Yes, indeed. And also want to remember that you can see us anytime, any place, anywhere. All you need to do is have the app on your phone. Download it, whether you're iOS or Android. It's all for free. So please do that. Take us with you any place that you're going this morning.
And you could also watch us live, as you're probably doing right now, channel 16, and on UHF channel 46.
Please, if you're not following us, do that already. She's asked you guys to, so
Yes.
please don't let us ask you a second time at TVC Connect. It's that easy across all our social media platforms. Now, and you're welcome. It's time again for our very, very interesting breakfast show every single morning.
Yeah.
And I'm here with the delectable Winfrey Agbelishe. Yay!
Thank you so much.
So since over the past many weeks, or sorry, many days, we've been asking everybody, and I don't think I've met you since, so I haven't asked you what your jam score was. That's always the precursor to the conversation of
It was
men's summer.
2-1.
So 2-1. That's above half of it now, wasn't it? Yeah. Well, was it good enough to get? That was what got you into Unibed.
Law now, yes, sir.
That's fantastic. That was beautiful.
So I met the cutoff for Edo states. I know it was kind of, I mean, after the Yoruba states, I think Edo and those were the
was higher.
Yeah,
So it couldn't be higher than Ekiti State. Ekiti is
I
always
said after the Yoruba states.
okay. Good. That's sorry.
No, Ekiti states.
But in any case, have you heard?
Yeah.
Now, Mesama, the girl who's been in the eye of well, the public for the past 1 week, has actually admitted the fact that I wouldn't say that she admitted guilt.
Yeah.
I'll say that she admitted to the fact that she actually scored 249 at the UTMEs. According to her, she said that she initially had been texted by JAM her result, and it was 249. But when she went to receive the what's it called, the tangible sheet, she got 300 and plus, which kind of like seems to make her the highest scorer. Yeah. But I don't know. For me, I'm thinking, yes, she's a minor. Was she influenced is the question I'm asking. If she was influenced, and I suggest, and I think that that's what's happening now, that the focus should be on who the influencer was, whoever it was that helped put together that sheet. And they should probe all the other ancillary instances that go with it.
So now, the thing is, first of all, it's important to state that she's 19.
She's 19?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So she's an adult. But besides that, right, I remember then, right, it just takes me back to, things people did during JAM. I remember how then JAM used to be cancelled, like certain centers used to be cancelled because of malpractices and all of that. Then it was a situation of smuggling papers in and all of that. But then again, with the advent and improvement and advancement of technology, we can actually see things like this happen. So as much as you say, okay, yes, she must have been influenced by an older person, to be honest, as kids, we also had our means now.
Yeah, very true. Very true, which is why laws are put in place, no exam malpractice. But now that you stated that she's 19, now that it's obvious to me, then that changes everything. Because you can make your own decisions when you're 19. And if it's, wow, you'll have to...
brunt of the law.
Yeah, but
found guilty.
Was she aware?
So that's the thing. So a lot of
people
say, okay, fine, we should take things, the advancement of technology, it's amazing. But then again, when it comes to results, education, these are kind of things that we should expect to happen. It's sad, but yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how that goes. I think the House of Reps have waded in. They're telling that they're definitely going to see to the end of this matter here, and I hope that I still feel sympathy for her.
Sympathy for her?
Yes, because I believe that it might have just simply been something that was put to her, and she's like, oh wow, grand.
I guess there's room for that. So yeah.
Yeah. So benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
In any case, welcome once again. Wake Up Nigeria. Let's do the weather, the news, and more. And you're welcome for a Thursday. Let's do the news. My name is Mazino Appeal. Now, President Bola Tinubu has given his support to the $5 billion floating liquefied natural gas project to be established in the country. The president threw his weight behind the project when a group of joint venture partners made up of UTME, Technip Energies, and also JGC Corporation visited him in the presidential villa. Leader of the delegation and group managing director of UTM FN Energy, Julius Rohn, told Estate House correspondent that the multi-floating LNGs are being implemented with a $5 billion loan from the African Bank. He said President Tinubu has assured that his administration would support the project because it fits into his program to revive the economy and provide more jobs.
The engineering work is currently going on. We've signed a $5 billion with African Bank for multiple floating LNG projects. African Bank is working on the financials and is aggregating both the debt and equity for this project. So financing is not an issue because the investors, everybody has aligned up and believe that, as you're aware, gas is a major demand in the world. So funding this project is fully secured.
This JV is very strong. We have been working on the half of the capacity of LNG in the world, which is being built or under construction, is being built by either Technip Energies or JGC. And all floating energy in open seas have been built also by either Technip Energies or JGC.
Our Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, says the importance of peace for achieving any meaningful development in the country cannot be overemphasized. The Vice President said this when a delegation of the Hadejia Emirates Council, led by the Emir of Hadejia and also Chairman of Jigawa State Traditional Council, Alhaji Adamu Abubakar Maji, paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. Vice President Shettima talked about the importance of peace for national development and acknowledged that Kano and Jigawa states have been largely peaceful. On the issue of the incessant flooding being experienced in Jigawa State, the Vice President pledged that the federal government will soon address the challenges of flooding facing the state because of its negative impact on agriculture and food production. Now, the atmosphere in Jenin refugee camp is now tense in Gaza after wars with Israel. This is the occupied West Bank, where the dynamics are very different, and it seems like a fast descent into something far more dangerous is already happening. The destruction in the camp following the Israeli army's biggest assault there in 20 years is massive. As hundreds of troops entered the camp on Monday morning, the army fired missiles from drones. Airstrikes have not been used in the West Bank for 2 decades, and tore up roads to clear them of what is said were militant roadside bombs. Fierce gun battles broke out between the troops and Palestinian militants and continued until Israeli troops withdrew on Tuesday night.
Welcome back to another exciting hour of your premium breakfast show. So I'm thrilled to be here again, right, to kickstart this second hour.
Absolutely, you must be because you're with me. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
It's all good. If you're as excited as we are, well, welcome. This is where you get all your dose of excitement every single morning, all the fun moments and everything. Like we promised from the start of the show, I mean, what better place to be at to start your Thursday morning but here?
Yes, of course. And the studio literally smells so amazing because in the kitchen, there is so much going on there. Now, Erin, what's happening there? Give us a brief.
It's frying up. Still, you know, of course, we are still coating and putting in the pan. But, well, Chef Mide is doing awesomely well. Well done.
He is. All right, my name is Winfrey Agbeleshe.
My name is Mazino Appeal. Remember, you guys can use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC. You want to do that across all the social media platforms if you want to be a part of this show.
Yeah. And of course, remember, you can actually watch us just the way you're doing right now, or on our mobile app, which you can actually carry with you on the go, on your phones, and get it from the iOS or the Play Store.
Yes, indeed. And please see us on GoTV channel 16. You're doing that? Yeah, thank you very much. Have you tried Band 49 for UHF? It's that easy. We also implore you guys to follow us across all the social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. At the GWC, Guinness Book of World Record, GWR.
GWR.
The new political party. Sorry, I'm joking. But everybody seems to be talking about Guinness Book of World Record currently in Nigeria. However, 2 instances. So the Ekiti State government has banned a...
Kissathon.
A what now?
Kissathon.
A kissathon. Say, no, you guys cannot be kissing for 72 hours.
I saw the flyer. I thought it was a joke, but
the
guy literally made a flyer.
So they were supposed to be kissing for like...
Kissing who and what?
People now who don't know if it's partners or what.
So for 72
Why
hours.
why are we so extra?
Extra.
Why do we abuse things a lot?
It's not even the extra-ness. It's the fact that it seems it's such a blatant lack of creativity for me, because somebody came up and said that they were going to do something. They done it. They achieved it. Everybody jumps on the back.
I'm not even talking about. I'm not even referring to the kiss. I mean, go kiss away if you want to kiss. Kiss your livelihood away. That's
so
no
now,
problem,
yesterday I saw a new one. So then there's a new one for weaving hair. So she plans to weave hair.
For how many hours?
Ghana weaving. Ghana weaving.
What's Ghana? What's the difference? I don't.
She's like Ghana weaving and braiding.
You now start looking for partnership with hair brands.
And she puts the table there with different hair extensions.
Well, what about the lady?
It's not her. It's the person's hair that will sit down for the
Exactly. Or one person.
Because I don't even know that.
Exactly.
Or is she going to change?
I think it's going to change people.
Because she has.
Okay, but there's a lady who also sets out to do the longest massage session.
Please, can I go?
Somebody's laughing in my ear. Why are you people laughing in my ear from the control room? I'm not even done talking.
As part of the people you will be giving that.
Oh, no, on your body.
No, sorry. You didn't hear.
She will collapse on your body.
She collapsed.
She collapsed.
Why are you laughing?
At her 50th hour.
So wicked.
At her 50th hour.
50 hours in on a 150-hour attempt. Madam said no. Bring jollof rice.
I think the funny part for me
Why are we laughing? Come on,
was
stop.
the person
So
she was
it's
massaging.
the irony. It's the irony that should not be the one getting the massage eventually.
So I'm sorry, but I shouldn't laugh at this. But the truth is, it was quite a sight to see. So she collapsed, and the person who was on her bench was like waiting with her legs in the air.
She wasn't
waiting for that nerve point to be hit again. Like, I can't wait for the next place you touch me. The woman is on the floor.
She was still there waiting for her legs to be massaged.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
I sympathize with her. You set out to do something grand. Unfortunately, you couldn't achieve it.
I think also very important to mention. So now the Guinness World Records have actually come out to say that, like, put a public notice that if you're going for any ton,
it's about time.
Make sure you take the proper. Like, do you understand that people cannot collapse? They can sue them and literally say, just make sure you take the proper
precautionary measures,
and
because there are things to be done.
For them to take like the permission from there to go ahead.
Yes,
like
now.
Go ahead. You can't just wake up and.
It's all good. So
I think we need to do our own thon on the show.
We'll do a thon, don't worry. Listen, we already said we're doing it. Longest breakfast show. Longest breakfast show.
That would be nice.
Everybody's complaining from the control room. You guys are going to do it. Longest breakfast show. Breakfast-a-thon. We'll call it. But Guinness Book of World Record says you people should chop. Don't go and die. Welcome. It's time for What's Up and About, apart from MM's red hair. Have you seen what's it called? Braveheart. It's a cartoon. Braveheart.
Yeah.
It's a girl. It's a Nordic cartoon, Disney cartoon.
Yeah.
That hair, and the accent sounded very nice. You're welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Oh, she has a very interesting story. What was that story? Why are you acting surprised? You told us about the story.
I'm not actually surprised. I'm surprised at the interesting in the statements. But anyways, yeah, I guess it's interesting for some.
It is.
Okay, so Darius Jackson, right, who happens to be Keke Palmer's boyfriend, literally put up a post.
Baby father.
Baby father.
Oh, and baby father, yes. Yeah. Put up a post sometime yesterday talking about the Alfish Award to a certain Usher's concerts. Now, it was a dress that literally had a cutout of like a swimwear, and then the rest of it was like Cher and all of that. So now, I think what got very interesting for me was the statement he actually put out. It wasn't a statement, it was a post. So he said, we live in a generation where a man of the family doesn't want the wife and mother of his kids to showcase booty chicks to please others, and he gets told how much of a hater he is. This is my family and my representation. I have standards and morals to what I believe. I rest my case. I'm gonna say this is actually very well said. So like this has literally got a lot of buzz off the internet. So there's people talking about how, oh yeah, you know she's an entertainer, she's a grown woman, and all
Why
of
you
that.
do? Why did you do that when you said that?
And she literally has a right to wear whatever she wants to wear. On the other hand, some people are like, okay, yes, what role, or will I say, to what extent does a significant other have
What influence? How much
what
influence
influence
do they
exactly?
have on
Especially, I
your
mean, he
personal
spoke of
preferences?
having standards and morals. So now, what influence does that have to the representation of your family?
I don't know. I want to hear your take first, Evan. What do you think about that? I asked because
Okay, so
you know
first
you are.
off, yes.
You know, you're in the public eye as well.
Yeah.
So is your husband as well. You know, so sometimes you have these crazy
Yes.
dresses you wear.
Wow,
I'm wondering-
Mazino, thank you for calling me out on that one. Really appreciate it. But okay, so I hear people say this a lot, especially because you know, even after 2 kids, people tease me a lot and say, "Oh, you're a mom of 2 kids. You're supposed to dress a certain way." And that is fine because we also live in a society where people are expected to live a certain way, especially after motherhood, or even women, because we are seen to be the bonds that make a home. We are seen to be the fixers. We are seen to be. We are supposed to be a certain way.
You're the scale upon which people judge
How
the quality of a family.
quality of a family,
Yeah.
right? Which is okay.
Which is
It is
wrong.
fine.
Totally wrong.
I
But
bet.
you have
but
a father.
yeah,
that's
but
it. Oh, no.
but in this instance, people should also learn to separate the personality from the
profession.
no, not profession, from the person. The person is one person. The person in regards to how the person looks, how the person wants to look,
Project.
how the person, you know, what people will say, the way you see you're seen is how you're being addressed. But in this instance, people, it's like judging people based on how they look, not how they really are.
So the truth is, so my comment to that, not the whole issue, my comment to that, judge people how they look based on how they really are, out of their abundance.
Oh, the body dresses.
That's the way I see it, to be honest. Because I'm like, it's an overflow. Do you understand?
So, sorry,
it's an
darling.
expression. What comes from? Do you understand? It comes
Yeah,
out and shows and reflects the person you are.
and first off, in regards to Kiki and her husband, he's always known that's who Kiki, boyfriend rather.
yeah.
He's always known that this is how Kiki dresses. This is who she is.
Boom.
If he wanted somebody that is all covered up from head to toe, it's like the instance actually draws my attention. It brings to mind the instance between what's her name again, Meg. I'll try and remember her name. She married, she's an actress, she married a pastor. People expected her to act a certain way because she was married to a pastor. But the truth is, that is how she really is, right? So
Sierra's
people should
situation
not
as well.
expect
Okay, so-
that,
so let-
you know, she should automatically change the way she looks because of her husband, just to meet her
Let me get in there
husband's
for a
So
second.
now-
Let me
standards.
get in there for a second. First off, Kiki Palmer's Kiki Palmer. Kiki Palmer is what Kiki Palmer will always do. I like her. She's very expressive. I love her. I've always loved her since Aquila and the Bee. Hey, what's not to love? However, her and her boyfriend, they're not legally married. Let's get that clear, first of all. They're still very, very individual until they're married. Secondly, this is a woman who's been in the public eye, who's been a celebrity since she was a kid. She's not new to the way celebrities dress and what celebrities are supposed to do. This was an Usher concert. And I do believe that there might have been some pre-arrangement because she was up on stage with Usher. Usher was singing to her, wasn't she?
She wasn't up on stage.
But
I think
she had
it's
the
a situation
attention.
where he actually went
There you go.
to the crowd.
I think that was pre-arranged. If that's pre-arranged, I'm going to
don't
want to
think it was
show up to kill if I'm Kiki Palmer.
Okay, so
I'm going
I
to want
don't
to
think
show up and let the picture show that this is Kiki Palmer. Oh, look what she's wearing. This is something her boyfriend or significant other should note that, it's all entertainment, it's all celebrities, this is what they do. However, then there is the home front. If my partner, legally married,
Would you allow your partner
would
actually?
I,
That's the
I,
question,
I,
yeah.
I, I, I would. Wow. So
Oh, wow,
so,
it's easy
so
to-
there's, and I'll say there's a point to what you said, but I have to understand why, who, especially.
So now,
I
as
got married
much as
to.
yes, I understand what everybody is saying, right? My own issue now, it's not an issue. My focus now is on what he said. It is my family. Boy, put a ring on it. My representation. So that is what I want to literally focus on,
Yeah.
right?
He
When
has
he
that
said
right.
My representation, because the truth is when
Only
you join
after marriage
yeah,
he
of
has
course.
that.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, okay, now let's just imagine,
That they're
hypothetically, they're married. Now, he's talking about her being his representative, because the truth is, that's honestly what I believe as well. I believe a man and a woman join together, they're both one person, and they're expressing in different ways. Now, to what extent does the other person's opinion on certain matters join? So,
100.
the situation of where an entertainer gets married to a pastor or all of that,
So,
right?
one
So now,
word.
one person is meant to understand that, fine, she has a career, she's meant to be perceived as this, but is she not also meant to understand that, okay, my husband also has a thing, career, profession, calling, whatever, and then even if he doesn't have that, right? As a person, he has certain morals, he has certain standards. There's a way he wants his family to be expressed, right? Doesn't that matter?
Absolutely. And that's what conversation comes in as a family.
I think
That's
you
why-
also
one
need-
word, MM.
yeah.
Understanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
I understand. Yes,
Conversation,
understanding.
communication.
Yeah, because I mean, you also use the instance between myself and my husband, right? I mean, when you see my husband, he's always prim and proper.
Hey,
right?
good morning, Mazzino.
And
How are
then-
you?
and then you see me. I'm wearing a ginger hair. Well, you decide on how I'm being perceived to you. That's personal. But like I said, it comes from a place of understanding. So, for example, there are certain things that my husband would not even would not want me to wear, right? He doesn't like tattoos. He doesn't like leg chains, right?
And you don't
And
wear
I
them.
love them.
But you-
I actually love them. But because it's not what he likes,
Yeah.
I mean,
A
I
bit of
have to,
consideration,
yeah,
yeah.
just certain
Understanding on his
compromises
part,
that we have to
consideration
make.
on yours.
So we can't exactly really blame Kiki Palmer in this instance. Maybe
I
because
really don't.
she's not, well, until they're married, then you can now say, okay, the man actually really has some certain...
I feel that until I'm married will apply here more than it will apply there, because now we know that baby mamas and family and
Are
people
practically-
coexist,
Yeah.
Cohabiting together.
Yeah, cohabiting together are literally a way of life over
No,
there.
yeah.
So yeah, I feel some, because also people talk about the way she literally was expressing. No, it was not. She wasn't performing or anything.
Yeah, she was-
But she was all up on Usher and doing all of that, and then turning around, and it's I feel it's enough to literally get any significant other riled up, to be honest. I mean, I post stuff and my husband's like, no, this thing you're posting.
I remember being on the beach,
Take it
Winfrey, and I saw a certain lady who was wearing something similar to what she was wearing. Do you
On
know
the
who it was?
beach?
Yes. Do you
On
know
the
who it was?
beach?
Yeah, I know, but do you
On
know?
the beach. That's where that
Winfrey,
conversation
it
ends.
was you.
On the beach. On the beach.
I've heard you. Tell us what you think. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeriaOnTVC on the beach.
Yeah.
We'll be back.
Wow. And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. It's time to go through the front pages of the newspaper. And doing this with me this morning is Mazzino Uphill.
Hello, everybody. Back again for the news. Love the headlines.
Yes,
Oh.
we are quite interesting stories on the, making the headlines this morning. But we'll start with the Guardian newspaper.
Alrighty.
And of course, making the headlines here on trouble in health sector as drugs cost of care hike spike by 150%. And this is hinging on the forex scarcity and Naira devaluation. And I'll just take one more story here. And UTM FLNG meets Tinubu on new gas plants, promises to crash prices. And at the bottom of the paper here, SGF governors, editors hail the flagship at 40. And I'll just take one more story here. Let's see. Akpabio under pressure faces uproar over uneven distribution of 500 billion naira loan to SMEs. I knew you took the story earlier on in the news, Mazzino. But hey, let's talk on what's happening in the health sector.
Yes, so I don't think that anybody's been thinking about what health's going to be like since after the floating of the Naira and then, of course, the subsidy removal and everything.
Yeah.
We should have expected that this was going to happen. 150% spike, however, that is a lot.
Outrageous.
But then when you compare with everything that's going on, that on the daily you have to decide or find out what the exchange rates are and all of this. And whether you like it or not, we do most of our health, we import most of our health, whether it's drugs, this or that. We might have these companies here in Nigeria, but even these companies as well have to source for material that they need to use to make these drugs using FX. So we're always going to have that problem in the, at the end of the day. Hopefully there should be some sort of, I don't know, regulation at the end of maybe this month. We're still reeling off of 3 weeks, I think, of this FX thing.
Yes, the subsidy removal.
We're hoping, and subsidy removal. So we're hoping that things will level out. Perhaps maybe there would be some reprise somewhere.
So, yeah.
I also wanted to touch on that.
Sorry, to quickly touch on that, there's something I actually really wanted to point out, because when, I mean, right now is so much happening, even the doctors are currently on strike as well.
Yes.
I mean, so it's not really a good time, you know, for the health
it's not a good time to
sector.
fall ill.
Right.
Don't fall ill, whatever happens.
Yeah, so there's something else you wanted to touch on.
Yes, I wanted to touch on the UTM FNLG. It's a mouthful.
Meeting with Tinubu.
Meeting with Tinubu for gas plants. This is an alternate means of producing electricity. Let's look at liquefied gas. Now, they are setting up in Nigeria, and one thing I wanted to touch on or point to or focus on is the fact that they're going to be creating jobs. 300,000 jobs for the time being while it's being put together, and then at the end of 2026, I think about 1.5 million jobs is what they're hoping that.
Which is good.
Which is good. But in the long run, how it serves us regarding energy, it will be good to look to alternate means, which is this.
Yeah.
People are also thinking about changing their cars into gas-fueled cars. So that's a good instance.
Okay, let's just quickly go to the next paper, which is the Punch newspaper. And making the headlines here, flood alert. States order evacuation as federal government issues disaster warning. On the riders here, we have Nemo warns of massive flood in Kano, Delta, Kebbi, Plateau, 10 others. And Akwa Ibom Delta, other residents demand alternative shelters. And at the bottom of the paper here, I'll just take a few more stories. Still on the UTME forgery, Reps order probe fraudulent app developer risk dismissal. And Lagos killer cop dismissed for shooting generator repairer dead. And I'll just take one more story. Nigeria exports 23 billion naira electricity. Local consumers lament outage. And you wanted to touch on the UTM.
Yes, we talked about this earlier, I and Winfrey, the fact that Miss Summer, that's the lady who's involved, 19-year-old, has come out to admit that her initial score was actually 249, which she received via text from JAM. She did not, however, admit to forging the papers, the sheet that she was given. So this is what's leading to the app developer. We keep saying app developer, but this is something anybody can do with a computer and Canva, quite frankly. I think the focus should leave Mesoma for now, even if she's 19 and culpable, and focus more on who influenced this young lady. If she says she went to, I don't know where she went to get the sheets from, that should be where the investigation should start from. That's the point. Investigations. Find who is absolutely responsible for this. Yeah, I'm not saying she shouldn't be face the law somehow or the other. But let's dig
into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, JAM has actually called on the DSS to look inwards into the matter, which they are. So I'm hoping that in the next coming days we would, get more news or updates on the story. And let's move over to this day newspaper making the headlines here. PDP leadership in disarray, fails to secure minority offices in the National Assembly, and G5 compromises party headship, steals the show. How other opposition parties sold out went for the money. And yes, a few other stories here on this day. But I knew there were a few stories you wanted to take on the Nation newspaper, so we'll just move over to the Nation newspaper.
Real quick.
And quickly making the headlines here. Discos intensify efforts for electricity tariffs hike approval. And we'll just, Lagos records 111 defilement cases. And Kwara returns to full working week. And what's the story here you wanted to take on?
Yes, I wanted to touch on the fact that Discos are still intensifying the effort to increase tariffs for electricity. I said this from before, whether we like it or not, it is absolutely going to happen. we cannot expect that they're providing electricity at the rate which they are currently and not have electricity tariff hike. I don't want it. Trust me, I'm suffering as well. But when you look at everything that comes together to give you electricity, they also use forex as well, whether you like it or not. They're still going to have to. It's becoming increasingly expensive to generate per kilo of electricity.
Yeah.
So let's just brace up and hope that.
If there's one thing that's common in the papers these days, it is hike in
this,
everything.
hike in that.
Hike in electricity, hike in the health sector, hike in fuel, hike in everything. But we're hoping that there would also be a hike in salary increase as well. And that's all we can take on the papers this morning. Thank you so much, Mazino, for doing this with me. We have to head over to the kitchen quickly, but we'll go on a quick break. We'll be right back, people. Stay with us.
Welcome into the Wake Up Nigeria kitchen. It's an amazing Thursday morning, and we have Olumide Martins here for the very first time.
Yeah.
And her vibe is 100, okay?
You can say that again.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. Good morning.
Amazing. I love how you came in prepared. Like, it's the first time on the show. We didn't have to tell her anything. She had everything lined up.
Yeah.
Lined up.
That's
Amazing. So tell me, what are we making today?
Oh, this morning we'll be doing our signature Singaporean noodles.
Okay, signature. Now, in a bit, you tell me about that signature. But first off, how does it feel like being on the favorite and best breakfast show on Nigerian television?
It's like a dream come true.
A dream come true, you said.
Like a dream come true when you see that, oh, Jeff Mida is going to be on air.
Yes,
you can imagine.
Right here. Amazing. I mean,
thank you.
we love having you here. So now tell me, we're making our signature Singaporean noodles. So now tell me, what ingredients do we need to bring this recipe to life?
Okay. First on the list is our vermicelli, rice sticks.
Okay, okay.
This is parboiled.
All right.
Then I have my vegetables.
Okay.
One thing about Singaporean noodles is that it depends on how crunchy you want it. Okay. So you can, if you don't like vegetables, you can reduce your veg. Yeah. Then if you like vegetable, you can increase it. So you can play around vegetables, you know. But this morning I'll be using yellow pepper. Okay. Bell peppers, really. Yes. Yellow pepper, green pepper. Then red pepper. Then I have spring onions. I have a little bit of parsley for glazing and dressing. Then I have my ginger and garlic. You can mix it, it's a must-have. Yes. Then I'll be doing some crispy chicken. Okay. So I have my breadcrumbs and my chicken already marinated. Then I have my eggs. Okay. My seasoning. Yes. And use our dear seafood. You can't have Singapore noodles without prawns. Yes. You can't have Singapore noodles without prawns. Of course. All right. Then I will also be using some sesame oil, dark soy sauce, oyster sauce. Okay, okay, okay. So all of this set to go. Something about Singaporean noodles, it doesn't take time, right? Yes. So now quickly run us through the process of getting this dish together. So you have to first pre-boil your rice sticks. Yes. Which I've done already. Boil. So some people say you don't need to boil it, you just need to pour hot water. What you need to do is when the water is boiled already, just put it in for 3 minutes. Okay, okay, okay. And you strain it. 3 minutes and you strain it. Yes, then 3 minutes. What else? Is that all? Do you run it over cold water or anything? No, you don't need to run it over cold water. Okay. Then you season your, of course, you would have seasoned your prawns. Yeah. Then you stir fry your prawns and set it aside. Okay. Then you stir fry your vegetables and you mix together. Basically. Yes. So it's actually so easy because prawns I know doesn't take time to make. And of course, vegetables also, we don't need so much time. If you need a meal that you want to put together in 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 10, 15 minutes. Yes, 10, 15 minutes. Then Singaporean after you've chopped your vegetables. Because this is usually the work, right? This is the main deal. Yeah, the slicing and all of that. Now, tell me about this chicken. It looks well marinated. Okay. See, if you want to have the best of your chicken, just give it like an hour. You have to marinate it. Okay. Like what I usually do, over the years, I started cooking about 13 years ago, professionally. So I had to create my own recipe so that there can be consistency in my meal. Your meal. Okay. So I have my own spices that I use. Like I have a chicken spice, suya spice that I mix together to marinate my chicken. Yeah, I think you have this. That's what this is, right? So then what gives our... there's no pasta spice. Yeah, what gives our Singaporean noodles is signature is this pasta spice. The pasta spice. It changed the... Can you give us a little tip? What's inside this pasta spice? Hey, you know, that's our signature, you know.
signature
change
secret
ahead.
is
When
allowed.
you taste it, you feel
So
it.
now this chicken was literally marinated
So
for an hour?
I've marinated the
this
chicken and soya spice chicken spice, then with garlic and seasoning.
Yeah.
Then my prawns, I'll marinate it and set it aside.
Set it aside.
Then the crispy chicken, I'll be working with
breadcrumbs.
With breadcrumbs.
Do that. All right.
What I do is that I always don't like waste.
Yes.
I have a bakery where we'll make bread
amazing.
every
So the
day.
breadcrumbs
So
literally
the
comes from that.
breadcrumbs, we'll package it and we see
sell
for
it.
people that want to do scotch egg.
Okay, so we'll definitely be talking more about that in a bit, but we have to go on a break right now. When we come back, Chef Mide is still here creating magic right in the kitchen. We'll be back.
Thank you.
You're welcome back. It's the second hour here for Wake Up Nigeria. My name is Mazino Appeal. Let's do the news again. Now, Vice President Senator Kashim Shettima says the importance of peace for achieving any meaningful development in the country cannot be overemphasized. The Vice President said this when a delegation of the Hadejia Emirate Council led by the Emir of Hadejia and Chairman of Jigawa State Traditional Council, Alhaji Adamu Abubakar Maje, paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. Now, Vice President Shettima talked about the importance of peace for national development and acknowledged that Kano and Jigawa states have been largely peaceful. On the issue of the incessant flooding being experienced in Jigawa State, the Vice President pledged that the federal government will soon address the challenge of flooding facing the state because of its negative impact on agriculture and food production. Now, the atmosphere in Jenin refugee camp is now tensed in Gaza after wars with Israel. This is the occupied West Bank here, where the dynamics are very different. And it seems like a fast descent into something far more dangerous is already happening. The destruction in the camp following the Israeli army's biggest assaults there in 20 years is massive. As hundreds of troops entered the camp on Monday morning, the army fired missiles from drones. Airstrikes have not been used in the West Bank for 2 decades and tore up roads to clear them of what it said were militant roadside bombs. Fierce gun battles broke out between the troops and Palestinian militants and continued until Israeli troops withdrew on Tuesday night.
So there's so much happening here. I mean, our meal is already ready. See, all these people that are too prepared, I don't really like it like that. Come on. So tell me, what's happening in our pots?
Our Singaporean noodles is ready.
It's ready and it looks so beautiful and it smells amazing.
Yeah.
So run me through the process again for those just joining us so they know.
Okay, you have to parboil your rice sticks. That's the Singapore,
the noodles,
the vermicelli. Then your vegetable, cut them. Then you stir fry the vegetables.
Yeah.
Stir fry your prawns.
Yeah.
Then you mix everything together. And
Literally, and your dish.
Paola, you're done.
Like any dish right now, just
sugar.
So now I was asking specifically about what you use to marinate the prawns because once you put it on in the fire, there was an eruption of.
See, when you're cooking, you can mix it with garlic and ginger.
Okay.
Garlic and ginger. Okay. Then I added a little bit of the soya spice.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Then I did sesame oil and oyster sauce.
And oyster sauce.
Yeah.
That's for the marinating of the prawns.
And
I love the texture and the color of the vegetable. They don't look overcooked.
Yeah, you don't have to overcook it because you are going to denature the vegetables.
Oh, denature it if you actually put it for too long.
Yeah.
Amazing. So now what are we actually prepping to do?
I want to make the crispy chicken.
Okay.
I'm done with it.
You're done with this. Yeah. So that's standing by. Yeah. All right. So just put it over there and then move our oil. I think our oil is hot too and ready to go. I'll give you space for this one. Now, I'm allergic to hot oil. So yeah. Let's also now tell me about this breadcrumb. So you spoke about the fact that you run a bakery, and then you don't like waste, so you actually get the rest of the crumbs. So it's actual breadcrumbs.
Yes, it's actual breadcrumb. What we do is that when we have bread and while slicing, some of the crumbs we do it. Then there are sometimes that we actually bake a batch.
Okay, just for crumbs.
We'll bake the batch.
Yes.
Then oven dry heat again. Then we'll now blend it.
Oh, amazing.
So that you can have a smooth texture. Then there are some other things.
Okay, so just quickly show us how you want to
I'm going to
cover
this is my breadcrumbs.
Yes. Because I was asking, you said you can use this for also what other dishes?
You can use it for your marita. You can use it for scotch egg. You can use it for meatball.
Yeah.
Yes.
So basically for things that need to be coated
Yes,
and all of that,
need to be
okay?
coated, and you don't want to use flour. So I'm going to be dipping my chicken
show us, yes.
in
the
egg
eggs first,
yes.
okay.
Then I'll coat it with the breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs. Oh, nice. Oh, I love how it just sticks to it. I was saying about my kitchen error and all of that.
Yes.
It was just, it was terrible, man. I used corn flour for my yamarita. And
if you are going to have the best of this, make sure that your chicken is well seasoned.
Well seasoned.
Well seasoned.
Inside, okay.
So that you can have the best of it.
Oh, great. I mean, thank you so much, Chef Mide. We're still here, literally. I love how you literally just waited for us to do this on air,
yes,
right? We'll definitely be back in the kitchen. But right now, it is the top of the hour, and we have to go on a quick break. And when we come back, still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria. We'll be back. Thank you for that lovely performance. And right now we have a very special interview, right? Not only because this is family, but also because we have the queen of Talk TV right here. And it's her birthday today.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Welcome to Wake Up Nigeria.
Thank you.
Mariah Afolabi Brown.
Yeah, my first time here.
Pleasure. First time here.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Okay, now this book is definitely something that I am proud of,
Thank
right?
you.
And going through it has been so amazing because you were so vulnerable to talk about the experiences that literally led up to this moment of your life. So now I want to backtrack, right? It's been several years for you of challenges, overcoming them, and of course succeeding. Now, where did the passion for what you do, where did that start from? We'll talk about the book, but we need to go back and talk about that, the old stories.
I just felt that we needed to actually give women a voice.
Okay.
You know, I felt that the truth is, I was privileged to be in the US when The View started and was hosted by Barbara Walters. I just saw how these women were different and they came up with that energy.
Yeah.
And I felt that when I come back to Nigeria, I want to do a show like this. Although we all, at that age, we all wanted to be Oprah. So everybody was like, oh, we're going to have a TV show. But I mean, I went into media, I worked in various companies. And then when the opportunity came, I said, you know what, it's time for us to put women on stage. And I didn't want professionals. I wanted regular folks, because what happened was that I was seeing on television, we've seen lots of men churning out names, figures, dates and stuff, history, talking from their own perspective. I said, you know what? We are the ones spending the money. We're the ones the economy affects most.
Very true.
So we need to have a platform. So I thought of bringing different women from different ages, different backgrounds, different experiences together to have a platform where they can express their views without discrimination or fear.
Yes, of course. So now, chapter 1 literally says a foundation remains forever, talking about your childhood and growing up. So you shared stories about your mom, about your dad, and how acceptance was also a struggle and all of that. So now, what impact would you say that had to literally bring you to this point where you are now?
Because well, I grew up alone. Like I had 3 brothers, and although I have my other sisters, I have sisters and all that, but I grew up alone in the house. I always heard of having brothers, you know, and I saw friends who just had brothers and sisters and they had people protecting them. So I was always alone as a child. You know, I come home talking to the chairs, talking to the clothes on the rack.
You thought you were a teacher.
Yeah, exactly. I was just talking to everything. And my mom was a trader, so she used to lock the door to upstairs. So I only had living room and dining. So the only 2 places. And TV opens at 4 p.m. So it was just me alone, myself and I. So that also helped me to find myself and my voice. And my father was also a human rights activist. He was president of NBA at some time. So, and he was one of Babangida's worst enemies. So my house was like a mecca for the information. People used to come around to talk to my father. And I just used to see the passion and how people just wanted to hear his own perspective and view on various issues. So that also helped me to find my own voice and realize that it's important for views to be expressed without fear or discrimination.
Definitely. And of course, you put all of that energy into the show, Your View, and then you speak about the assignment of it all. So now, in detail, now for those who haven't heard it, right? Your View, the assignment, what is it really behind it? It's giving women a voice. Why is it so important?
Now, because when women express their views, societies change. Since this show started back in 2013, we've seen lots of more shows where women express themselves. Back then, we didn't have a lot of female-led shows. Today, I'm proud because the ladies of Your View have also championed voices for women across the country. They have more shows where women are speaking, expressing themselves. Before, women were more like maybe red carpet hosts, but now we're seeing people taking charge in TV shows. And that's the idea. When women express their views, societies begin to change because we share our thoughts and our experiences, and that helps people to reshape and think of how things can be done differently or better.
Yes, of course. So now last month, we literally saw an event you put together. You literally put Lagos on a standstill.
You think? Oh, yeah, right.
And it was an amazing one, an outing and everything. And during, your husband literally came up to speak and he spoke about how the first draft, this is not the first draft, right? And then talk about how you literally had to redo all of that. Tell us about that experience and how it made you feel.
My husband, you know, when you tell this man, I'm writing a book, he knew I was writing a book. So he knew the stories I was writing about. So he felt like, I know all the stories, not am I reading your book for? When I finished the book, I said, please, just let me go for it. I said, no, Mara, I beg. I have read the book, I know all the stories there. There's nothing that's new. So he didn't answer me. So I told my brothers, his best friend, who's a lawyer, to also read it. And everybody read it, was perfectly fine. So when I now moved the date, and I started my campaign in May, I said, "That your book safe? Let me even see. Let me even try to see." Now I read it. By the time my husband finished reading that book, he was just scattering and lining and stying and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "This thing cannot go out like this." I said, "What? After 1,000 copies have been printed, do you know how much money I spent?" He said, "Don't worry, I'll pay for it." So he'd start over again. He changed some paragraphs, which he felt that because there was a story about where I got arrested. I know, just for that, listen, yes, you got arrested, but there's a way you tell the story that would not affect you in future. So he had to rephrase a few of those things, and I had to reprint. So he paid for it, but I'm happy that he did.
That he did, right? Definitely. Now, talking about the story where you got arrested, right? As I said earlier in the beginning of this interview, you were very vulnerable. So now, what place do you think vulnerability has, especially in society today, where everybody's literally trying to paint a picture on social media and things like that? What role?
You know, what I realize is that a lot of books that we have today, people just, they've had their experiences, but they summarize their experiences in lessons they've learned, and now write books about lessons they've learned. And I felt that we need to change that. You know, I have a young girl that lives with me. When she read my book, she said, "Morel, you know what I like about your book? You shared your story. You didn't tell me what lessons to learn. From your story, I picked out and I was able to deduce the lessons I needed based on where I am in my life right now." And that's what this book is about. I'm sharing my story with my experiences. I'm not going to tell you, 5 lessons to become rich, 3 steps to become a leader, 5 steps. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just give you my own story. You then pick out what actually you need from it at the moment, because Nigerians, we need to share more of our real stories. There are so many true African stories out there, true experiences that we've been through, but we just kind of cover it up, bottle it up, and look really pretty and say, "Oh yeah, I did well." Just believe in yourself, trust God, everything will happen. It doesn't happen that way. You got to tell me what you did, what you did.
Happened.
So that's what I did in this book.
Amazing. It definitely turned out really, really nice. Now, running your view for 10 years, it was 10 years in May. Definitely could not be easy. Now, tell me the most challenging, at least off the top of your head, the most challenging experiences you literally had.
There's a lot.
Plenty. Of course.
NSAS was one of it.
Yeah.
The fact that some ladies had to leave at some point. The fact that I said my husband couldn't bath my child on television, and the whole of Nigeria just came after me as if it was a horrible
So how do you
situation.
handle things like that when you actually get back?
Well, first things first, I have a solid family support. My husband is there. My family, my husband's mom and grandmother live with me, and they're out there. So because I have that strong family support, even when the challenges come, I know I'm okay. Even during NSAS, I shared in the book where my mother-in-law, my grandmother-in-law came to look for me. I mean, even when the whole road was on fire, the hoodlums were running up and down, they came and they walked through that crowd to look for me. So I have that kind of background at home. So there is no challenge that throws at me. Somehow God helps me to buffer it up, to give me some kind of sanity.
Amazing. Okay, so it's your birthday today.
Yeah, it's my birthday.
Where's the party? Where's the party?
After I just finished partying with book launch, and I forget it. Everybody called me and I said, "Honey, I'm not doing nothing." Is there rice and chicken? I said, "There's no rice and chicken."
Wow.
Because right now I'm selling buckets. I'm selling books.
You're selling books, so that's all we're about.
Buy my book.
Definitely, right? This is all the birthday gifts.
Yeah, that's the very gift I need right now. After all that money, I bet.
Amazing. So now, definitely, you're at this point and all of that. And then going forward, what would you say your vision is going forward after achieving this milestone?
Right. So honestly, I think I've said it before, I want to see more your views across the country. I want everybody, I want it in different languages. I want it across the world. I want women to express themselves. I want young your views. I want old your views. I would like to bring up together a group of old, maybe 60s, 70s, come together, just have a conversation. You know, how life was, how the grandkids are doing. You know, I would like to, because I believe that when women express themselves more, society's change, because even men see us differently.
True.
Men respect us. They realize that, okay, these guys are not just all about, you know, fashion and lifestyle. They actually do have some perspective on different things. So when we are speaking and we provide women a platform, things change, our children change, perspectives change, societies change at large. So I would love to see more your views across the countries in different parts of the world.
Okay, so do you have a program for that? Or do you have a plan, active plan?
My plan is just to encourage and inspire others to do it.
That's
you know, I mean, I can't do it all.
True.
We've set the standard. More people are going to go surpass it and do better, and that's my dream. I want to be. I said I want to be 80, watching different ladies talking on show, and I'm just that's your view. Yeah, come express yourself. You know, I love that, and I think, and even all the ladies who have left, they're all doing something great on television. They're all speaking. And I feel like, you know what? I'm happy that they're doing it.
Oh, amazing. Thank you so much. Now, before we go, where can we get this book?
So it's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's on Roving Heights now in Lagos.
Oh,
it's cavitymedia.com. You can get it on cavitymedia.com. And you can call the numbers on my page, Mariah Brown, on my Instagram page. You get all the details.
Amazing. Do we have a soft copy of it as well?
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Yeah.
Amazon. Okay, yes. Amazing. Thank you so much for being here. That party you don't want to have, we'll have it on your behalf. Don't worry. Thank you so much. Definitely amazing talking to you. Thank you for inspiring us. We appreciate you. We have food for you, so you're not going anywhere. Amazing. We're going on a quick break right now. When we come back, still so much more happening right here on Wake Up Nigeria.
And we are back. Thanks for staying with us. Joining us right now on the couch is a British-born lawyer and model, Somtochukwu Madago.
Yes, indeed. Now, Somi is very passionate about a lot of things, especially beauty and fashion journalism. She's also works to increase female participation in politics and also optimize tourist attractions in Nigeria because, of course, she's Miss Tourism Nigeria. Good to have you. First runner-up, Miss Tourism Nigeria. Good to have you here on the show.
Thank you. It's amazing to be here. Good morning.
Fantastic. We've got so many questions.
Yes, so fast stuff. When I saw you working, I'm like, oh, no, she's not tall. And, I mean, that is, okay, from my experience, right, because I tried to, model once, like model on the runway. And there's certain criteria that you need to meet. Other than being beautiful and having certain facial features, right, you also have to be tall. So how did you get in?
It's something that really, really deterred me for the longest time, in all honesty.
Okay.
And I only just bit the bullet because I thought, okay, as much as there's a height limit, there's also an age limit to a lot of these contests. And so I'm approaching the age limit.
Oh, okay.
And so I thought to myself, well, if they pick you.
What's the age limit?
The age limit for most of them is around 28.
Okay.
In fact, for Miss Tourism Nigeria, they have one of the most liberal age limits. A lot of them 25, and you can't compete older than 25.
Oh, okay.
And so even with the height and with the body, Miss Tourism Nigeria is actually quite liberal because we actually have, I don't even think I'm skinny enough for a pageant girl, to be honest. I mean, lots of them are much thinner and much taller, like you pointed out. And so it did deter me. And I'm happy that I did it to show the girls like us that you can
do it, right?
Absolutely. Well, that's grand. So Miss Tourism Nigeria, that means you're actually the face for tourism in Nigeria. Have you been around Nigeria? How many of these sites have you been to? These very beautiful places around Nigeria.
Well, I can't say I've been to many, but of course, like you've just pointed out, I have to go to so many of them. But more importantly, as Miss World Tourism Nigeria, actually, I have to. My mission is a bit different.
Okay.
We have a lot of beautiful tourist sites in Nigeria. We have a lot of beautiful art, culture, fashion. And as much as the world loves to look at it, even us in Nigeria don't enjoy a lot of these experiences ourselves. And so I'm thinking of ways to partner with the government so that we can, sustainably develop these sites so that we can actually enjoy them. We have a lot, like in my state, Anambra State, we have Ogbunike caves, and these things could be generating revenue.
Sorry.
But they're just sitting there, and they're just, getting run down, and, it's so much beauty that God has blessed us with, and we're not doing much with it. So,
and then please, I hope you don't mind. It's funny you should mention the Ogbunike caves because it's the one place in Anambra State that I want to go to. In fact, I have plans to be there next month. And
Really? Next month?
Yes, next month. I have plans with friends. We're going to go there.
Oh.
It's such a beautiful thing to see on pictures, and I didn't know it was there. And
It's
I'm
always been
Nigerian.
there.
Yeah, but that's the thing, you see, as a Nigerian, we don't know that these places are there.
exist.
And so that's part of my job. I need to showcase this beauty to Nigerians and to, the world at large.
Okay.
Interesting.
Now let's talk about you being a lawyer. You practiced for a few years before you went into the pageantry. Let's talk about some of the challenges that you've had to face, because you're coming from just two different worlds, being a lawyer and then being a beauty queen in pageantry. I'm like, so first off, what fascinated you about being in the pageantry industry? And then what are the challenges that you've had to face?
So I've always been fascinated by pageantry, by modeling. I mean, I was in love with the sights of Agbani Darego on our TV screens. I can't get that image out of my head. I've been modeling for a few years. I think in 2 years, I'd actually been modeling for 10 years. I checked on my Instagram and I was like, wow. I was the face of Zaron Cosmetics in 2020. So I've always been interested, and I'm very multifaceted. It's a battle, but I'll say it's a battle I've won because I've accepted that that's who I am. It was difficult for my dad to adjust because he's like, I want you to just get a good job. I've taken you to the best schools. Just go ahead, get a good job, as you do. As most Nigerians do. It's very conservative. It's 9 to 5. But the more I've come to know myself and accept myself for what God has blessed me with, I realize I'm much more than a 9 to 5. That's not to say I will never practice law. I still do, but on my own terms. Okay. And so, I mean, beauty fades. Let me use it while it's here.
Sure.
So you've represented Nigeria, or you will be representing Nigeria in China very soon, if I'm not mistaken. That's what's the name of that pageant?
It's Miss Tourism World.
Miss Tourism World. So now, tourism is not just restricted. It's not a nucleus here in Nigeria, how everything affects it. I'm talking about one particular instance. I'm talking about the, how do I put it now? Gender issues that face people in certain sport or pageantry, for instance. Male people who are transgender competing with the female gender. You're smiling a little bit wide. I want to know what your take is on that one. Do you think that, especially that you
think that is fair?
Especially that you are representing Nigeria on an international stage where these things are going
prominent.
to happen.
Yeah.
Might happen. You might face a beauty queen one day who's
Especially
transgender.
in Asia.
Exactly
Especially in Asia,
where you're
exactly
going
where
to
you're
represent
going to.
Nigeria. What do you think? Is it to be allowed? Do you think that it's an intrusion?
I think if I'm using the example of the sports, if I'm talking from the angle of the sports, not having transgenders partake in female sports, I'll say then there's an unfair advantage.
Okay.
But if we're taking this to pageantry, I think the transgenders may actually be at a disadvantage. This is me just assuming that they will not be genetically as beautiful as a,
As a
born female.
Yeah.
And so I think if they're bold enough to try, why not? I don't think I'll be intimidated by it. I don't think any other women will be. And so, yeah, why not?
I love your answer.
All right. Let's talk about some of the stereotypes that people the women in the pageant industry have to deal with. Stereotypes as to them not able to do more, them not being able to. There's a certain way you're perceived, right? And we talked about this earlier on, and then there are projects that you want to do to, try and break this bias and stereotype and these narratives that have been placed on women in the pageant industry, especially in this climate, right? So let's talk about some of that.
Well, like we were saying, I don't think it's so much of a stereotype anymore. I think it's actually, in a lot of ways, it's a reality in Nigeria. I don't want to blame the government too much. I would like to take a personal responsibility to say, I'm on a mission right now because I've had a lot of condescending remarks since I've been a beauty queen. People just, they don't know me, but because I've introduced myself as this, there's this whole brand new impression. And it's funny because when I do speak, I'm able to, completely floor them.
Change
and they're like,
mind.
oh my gosh, I had no idea. And this is the case for a lot of the girls. I mean, Winfrey is a pageant girl as well, and she's doing amazing. She's intelligent, and she's respectable, she's dignified. And so I think I'm taking on a specific duty now to rework the face of pageantry in Nigeria. It's dignified, it's feminine, it's elegant, it's graceful. That's what it should be. It's about women empowerment. And so, personally, I'm not going to pay much attention to those narratives or stereotypes as whatever we'll call them, because this is my time. This is how I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is how all the younger girls coming on would do it and even do it better.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, I mean, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say it's a confidence for me.
Okay, yeah, you talked about female empowerment, because to be honest, a lot of people who are saying this from the outside really do not see it as a women empowerment, platform or scheme where some of these women can be empowered with tools to be more, right? And what is it that you think the beauty queens and, women in that space can actively do to, put it out there? That, okay, this is what this is about, and this is who we are, and this is what we hope to do, especially when it comes to influencing the mindset of people, changing their minds, and also influencing global change on that.
Okay. I don't think the mantle is so much on the beauty queens themselves, because like we were saying, a lot of times, in Nigeria, there's a politics that goes on as to the crowning. And so I think I'll start there. Let's actually make these titles merit-based. And so the girls who actually deserve to win will win and be projected. Let's have these conversations about how to rework these narratives, how to ensure that the girls are actually empowered and they're not, kind of pushed into doing other things, other undignifying things. And then lastly, I hate to put this on the government, but anything that has government support does better. There are lots of industries, creative industries in Nigeria are suffering terribly because they don't have funding. And so funding, money makes the world go round.
Oh, yes, it does. Thank you so much, Samtel. This has been quite an insightful conversation, especially delving into the pageantry industry.
Don't leave. We want you in our kitchen with our other guests, because you guys have to taste what we have. So let's take a very quick and short
Talking
break.
about Asia, we're taking her to...
Oh, we're having an Asian dish,
We're
exactly.
having an Asian dish as
We're having an Asian dish, so you just hang in there. Let's take a very short break, and when we get back, we'll have something inside of the kitchen with Mariah Brown. It's gonna be a fun time.
Been an amazing show so far, and we have Somi here, and of course, our very own Mariah Brown right here with us. Yes, the queen, yes, of Nigerian TV. And of course, we have our meals here, and we have Chef Mide. She's been in the kitchen working hard to put this meals together. It looks amazing, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Amazing. I would love for you guys to try it out and let us know exactly what you think about it.
You want me to try it?
Definitely. That's why you're here. Yes. So just let us know. So Chef Mide, tell us what exactly we have in this meal right now.
Oh, this is our signature Singaporean noodles.
Yeah. So tell us now, what's inside? We see the prawns or the shrimps,
there
rather.
is prawns, vegetables, then with crispy chicken.
Yeah, and of course our special midday spice, right?
Spices, yes.
How does that do? I hear.
Thank you.
Really nice.
Really nice. Really nice.
Okay. One of the things I did was that I want the taste of my food to be consistent.
Yes.
I want you to eat midday food today, and you eat midday food tomorrow,
Yes.
and still. So I came up with my own recipe.
Yes.
So I have my spices. I have about 25 different spices.
Whoa, 25.
Yes, that I use for my food.
Amazing. And you own a bakery alongside that.
Yes,
Beautiful
I
stuff.
have a bakery that we turn out baked products every day.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much to all of you watching us right here. We'll be here same time, same station tomorrow. Thanks to all our guests and our chef as well. Till tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye.